Hi, I'm Micki.
Hi, I'm Kat.
We are Cat and Mouse Astrology. Welcome to the new moon in Aquarius.
Happy Lunar New Year.
Lunar New Year. Yay.
It's
And
the year of the dragon.
yeah, the dragon. Ooh. So that's fun. Sometime we'll have to do a little Chinese astrology rundown for S&G.
Okay.
What's your Chinese symbol? Do you know?
Horse.
Your horse? I am
Mhm.
the rat.
Huh,
Yeah.
I don't know much about it.
I know a little, but I'm no expert. I kind of like to I dove down this well, so
We should bring someone who is an expert on sometime. That would be fun.
that's a great idea.
Have
Yeah,
a
let's
have a
ask
guest
them.
a guest astrologer.
I like that. Let's do it. You guys let us know what you think. Put them in the comments below if you want to hear about your Chinese astrology. So I'm going to share our screen and take a look at our moon. We've got, a lot of new beginnings going on here. And
Hmm.
I might even go far and say, radical changes coming up.
Why do you say that, Mickey?
Do you see where Uranus is?
Yes, 19 Taurus
Yeah. And do you see where this moon is?
in a square at 20 Aquarius.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi. Okay, so we need to look at 20 Aquarius and 19 Taurus.
Exactly. Exactly. So
Let's
I
just
think, sorry, go
I'm
ahead.
just gonna start there
Yeah, do it.
at 20 Aquarius. A large white dove bearing a message.
Yeah. And you can
Or
see that message because we just had the conjunction of Pluto and Mercury. So there was some communication that was very deep that happened in your life, in my life. And now there's this message is being forwarded out to people, right?
maybe,
What's the message? I don't know.
or processed with yourself and some internal changes.
True. As long as it's, this is Mercury involved. That Mercury psychopop is really good psychopomp that
Yeah.
because Mercury is androgynous, right? Neither male nor female. And Mercury can go both to heaven and to hell. Mercury is
Uh,
home with Pluto. Mercury can dive right on down there, go, hey, Pluto, man, what's happening? And then go hang out with Venus in a little while, it'll and is perfectly able to get along with and communicate with both because that's the job of Mercury. So I
right.
think Mercury and Pluto is I think of as kind of a good thing as a writer,
Sure.
but it could also be talking about some dark stuff.
Yeah.
It could be
Or at least some deep stuff.
deep stuff. It could be sex talk.
Sex talk.
Uh,
Because
so
Pluto was the Greek version of Hades,
yeah,
and Proserpina was the Greek version of Persephone. So Pluto took Proserpina to the underworld
right.
as his consort. Sex
Yeah,
talk.
yeah, sex talk. That's what I'm seeing. And look at Venus is coming right up there with Mars, and they're going to have a little tete-a-tete.
All right, all right. It's
Yeah. Once they both get into Aquarius, they're going to come together. And it's been a long time.
yeah.
If you have some creative project or some beautiful dream, there's going to be some energy that's hitting it. And, Mars and when the lovers come together in about a month, I think less than a month, we'll look at that in a minute. But that's going
Hmm.
to be pretty exciting. So I really like this message of the Sabian symbol. Would you read it one more time, that 20 degrees Aquarius?
A large white dove bearing a message.
Sweet. I like that both in the mundane, wider world aspect and in the personal aspect. Yeah, I've gotten a very positive message just today.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, I wonder if it has anything to do with that for me.
Yeah, I had some good communication earlier in the week.
Yeah. So this is really cool. This is pretty interesting. The change that's involved with this new moon that heralds a white dove with a message.
Over
You know,
the map.
there's a square right there with the Uranus. So
Let's
this
see.
is some corner that's going to have to be turned suddenly, maybe a little unexpectedly, and be careful not to let it upset the apple cart.
19 Taurus. Is that it? Or 20
Yeah.
Taurus?
Well,
19 Taurus.
coming on to 20, I'd read 19 and 20.
Okay. 19, a new continent rising out of the ocean.
Ah,
And 20 Taurus, wisps of clouds like wings are streaming across the sky. We get 2 bird flight messages at the start of the year of the dragon.
yeah.
What is a dragon but a winged serpent?
Yeah, and how plutonic is that? Pluto
Yeah.
moving into the air sign. The
Yeah.
dragon, Pluto just moved into an air sign.
Ooh, we into the air
The
sign.
dragon left the cave.
And Pluto is like the wealth from the deep, like all of the gems and minerals and stuff out of the earth, and dragons like gems and minerals and stuff. What weird symbolism.
It's so rich.
Wow.
Yeah, it reminds me of a fantasy novel that you can really get into. It's got all kinds of mythology in it, and
Love it. This is
I
gonna be a good year.
this is going to be pretty interesting. Yeah, that Pluto in Aquarius, that's the herald, isn't it? Because this is our sea change we've talked about before. I was looking back through this and like to get into this in a little bit more deeply in a talk with you as well about the meaning of Pluto in these different signs, because we just came out of 20 years of Capricorn.
Yeah.
20 years of Pluto digging deep in the meaning of Capricorn,
Right.
pulling from our ancestral memories of everything Capricornian, um, getting into the resources of the plutocracy, which is the Capricornian, the government system.
That
And
goddamn
now,
hypocrisy.
exactly. And now Pluto's coming into the air sign, and
Of the people.
that's the people. So there's interesting, I don't know, like I said, this could be a very, very deep talk of symbolism that we should get into about the meaning of Pluto as it goes in the next 20 years.
Yeah, we might have to have a whole different video on Pluto and the signs.
Yeah. But this is the beginning. This is the first step back in. We had a little bit of time last year. And
Right.
that's when AI and everything came out and was a great big deal. And now, what is this going to herald for us? It's right there at 0 degrees. So what do we know? Do we have a 0 degrees you want to read for Pluto?
0 degrees for Pluto is an old Adobe mission. And as we're discussing, I would like to change the meaning of that from last time and remove, like change, I want to change the meaning of mission.
Uh-huh.
I want it to be an old Adobe and a mission. Does that make any sense?
And
Like,
a mission.
and a mission,
A
an old
mission.
Adobe mission. So like old Adobe would be like the resources and the turning the earth into new structures and using the earth to build safety and security and shelter, and having a mission that goes from there.
I really like that. I especially like that because, language evolves just like people evolve. And the term mission, when it was originally used for those places, they did have a mission.
Right.
They were there to do something. So the mission is different now because we're a different people, a different society, a different place. And so taking the concept of a mission is forward in a new era, evolving it. I really
Yes.
like that. That's really
Yes.
cool.
We can change the meaning of symbols.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
which is
And
the whole
Pluto,
endeavor here.
right. Pluto is what I find so interesting to explore, and I have not explored it as in depth as I want to, so that's something I'm probably going to get into. But from some perspectives, some astrologers' perspectives, um, it is a positive symbol.
I love Pluto.
From some astrologers' perspectives, it's dun dun dun.
Well,
So
I mean, it can be either.
yeah. Well, and we've got if there's any dun 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 to be involved, it's coming right up babies. Because the other thing we see in this chart is the next conjunction with Pluto is Mars.
Yeah.
So now, this could be an explosion. This could be, think of a volcanic eruption.
Okay. Are we getting back to
So
sex talk?
I think that could be good. This could be this could be a very erotic explosion too, right? So there's more than one way to look at this, both personally and in the larger world. But right after we get that, we've got the Venus conjunction with Pluto.
So
So I
exciting.
think that's pretty sweet because whatever we're talking about, that is, wow, look at Pluto here in Aquarius, huh?
Right.
Dragon just took flight.
Right.
And then Mars comes along and says, let's add some fire to his
Fuck
breath.
yeah. He's going to breathe fire.
And then Venus comes along and says, carry me off.
Oh my God. This is such a sexy chart.
This is a sexy chart. That's a big stellium. Wow. Pretty exciting. Well, we got the change. However, you're going to be carried off, it could be very exciting.
Very exciting.
Yeah. So there's a lot of
There's
extra.
nice trines and sextiles in there too, right?
Oh,
Because
go ahead.
still have a trine between Venus and Uranus. That's nice. And the black moon. I'm super curious about this black moon Uranus trine that's hanging out here.
Yeah, and Black Moon becomes more and more involved over the course of the next few months in some this in with both Uranus, which you just already had. They're still essentially conjunct within 5 degrees,
Yeah.
right? But when it comes to the trine with Jupiter coming up, I think that'll help us to see what was going on with the Black Moon in Uranus, because that could be like some change we're not really aware of.
Definitely. I mean, between Pluto and the black moon, something's changed that we didn't know about.
Right. And it's a sea change because it involves this plutonic aspect,
Yeah.
right?
The Adobe
Yeah.
and the mission.
Yeah. And the mission. I think the mission might be to disrupt the plutocracy.
Oh, okay. Or have more to do with the friends thing of Aquarius
That's right. And
and
that's what I was just
community
thinking, that
building.
very different meanings between Capricorn and Aquarius.
Yeah, yeah.
Capricorn is kind of in many ways, uptight and holding on. Whereas Aquarius is much more free and letting loose.
Right.
But that's very simplistic, and they're both more nuanced than that, you know. But there's a sea change going on with Aquarius, with Pluto now entering it and making everything different.
It's good. It's good. I like sea change.
I do too. I think in some ways this new moon is really the beginning of the year. And like you say, it is the Chinese New Year, so that makes perfect sense, because this is where all the planets now are moving forward.
Uh-huh.
So on some big level, this is our first opportunity to take a step into the future, a new future, without something dragging us back or holding us back in some way.
Right.
So
And then we've got that nice sextile between Saturn and Jupiter.
that's pretty cool too, isn't it?
That looks like a nice way to start a year, to have those two supporting each other.
Yeah,
harmonious.
yeah, exactly.
Should we look at those symbols?
Oh, let's do.
7 Pisces for Saturn. Mm. Illuminated by a shaft of light, a large cross lies on rocks surrounded by sea and mist.
Huh. I kind of like that symbolism.
Is it like a dreamy shrouded X marks the spot?
I'm thinking more of a symbol of the end of a kind of plutocracy.
Oh, why do you say that?
Well, our plutocracy is supported right now, forgive me for being political, by what used to be called the evangelicals, but is now the MAGA group. I know
Uh,
that there are evangelicals who would not be like to be included as MAGAs, but that was
right.
the beginning of it, and with the Tea Party movement, and that is those people would represent themselves with the cross.
Oh,
And what
okay.
they did was take the money from the poorest among us and gave it to the rich who didn't need it, specifically with the court case, Supreme Court case Citizens United, which we need to repeal.
Oh,
And they
right.
did a serious plutocracy, but that's true for around the world, which astrologically speaking comes from all the 20 years of Pluto being in Capricorn, supporting the,
Right.
you know, the wealth, the depth uh, in the hands of uh, these who are supporting the governments, the money, the backers. Having
Yeah.
it into the hands of the people could mean a transfer of wealth.
Okay.
And that transfer of wealth may come from um, how we put to rest belief systems that were true in the old plutocracy.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking of, people used to believe in kings and queens,
Right.
right? They really wanted kings and queens. And there's still some revival of that right now. Some people still want to be kings. I think most people don't want kings and queens anymore.
Yeah.
The idea might be kind of romantic. Oh, it would be nice to be a princess, but nobody wants to be ruled by one.
Right.
Nobody wants to do what they say. Most of us want to be in a representational type of government or household or town or whatever. And because of that, having Pluto move into the place of the people, and with Saturn symbol sounds like demonstrating an end to that plutocracy in its symbol. Read the symbol one more time.
Illuminated by a shaft of light, a large cross lies on rocks surrounded by sea and mist.
That's how I view it. Pluto is at 0 degrees, just moving into Aquarius at the new moon. The new moon is
Mm.
shining its light, saying something new is going to happen. What new is going to happen? Well, Pluto's no longer there supporting the plutocracy. Pluto is here supporting the people. And what has Saturn got to say about it? Oh, I guess that's over.
It does have a little bit of a shipwreck kind of feel to it, huh?
Yeah. What does 8 degrees say? Because we know Saturn's going to be there. It's
A
slow moving.
girl, a girl blowing a bugle,
Oh, a girl blowing a bugle.
a herald of some sort.
Well, so much of that plutocracy was putting women in a place rather than having women be part of the people.
Yeah.
So I would guess that this could also herald an opportunity over the next 20 years for us to look deeply at what it means at what gender means.
Oh, yeah. And to like further dismantle the patriarchy.
Right,
Because
right,
so much of the plutocracy is the unpaid labor of women.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Which
anyway,
is a very
I think it's kind of cool. I'm pretty good with this.
okay.
But now I'm a Uranian type person. I like Uranus and what it does usually. The ground shaking underneath us is scary, but change can be really positive in many ways.
Yeah.
What is the
Oh, but we got 8 Taurus is this weird sign
yeah,
of a sleigh without snow.
we've had that before because Jupiter went retrograde. It's now going back over it again.
Yeah, a sleigh without snow. It's a weird one because it's like, okay, well, you're stuck.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or it just means that like the conditions have changed.
Global warming.
Climate chaos.
Uh-huh. Sleigh
Okay,
without
well, I don't know what those mean.
what's 8 or sorry, what's 9?
No. A Christmas tree decorated.
Interesting.
I don't think I get that.
No, I don't get that either. The sleigh without snow. That one I feel. Can't get this thing to move, man. I know where I want to go, want to get there. It's just rocks. Well, this is a fascinating chart. I feel a lot of positivity about this, the overall tenor of it. I'm a little worried about you know, the Mars approaching Pluto. That's going to be something that I think we're gonna notice it. You may not have noticed the Mercury because sometimes we ignore the speech or going on around us. But I think that the Mars is going to be noticeable, and that's pretty shortly.
Okay, I
That's,
noticed Mercury.
but how did you know? Do you want to talk about it at all?
No, I don't.
Yeah, again, it can be very sexual, very deep, very real, very personal. Yeah, yeah.
That's great.
Uh-huh. So
But I do want to look at Neptune because Neptune is in a sextile to Mars,
excellent.
26 Pisces. Sorry. A new moon. A new moon reveals that it's time for people to go ahead with their different projects.
I love it.
It's an Adobe mission,
It's an
Micki.
Adobe mission.
Let's go build an Adobe mission.
I love it. It's so fun that when uh, uh, Chris Brennan does an astrology thing every month, and they start by with Austin Coppock, and they start by looking at the previous month and what happened and how it fit with what they talked about. And and every time they're always amazed at how the symbology is so spot on
Sometimes,
what's
yeah.
actually going on. And to me, to have all these symbols pointing to the same, it's like all of them are this giant arrow pointing, go for it now.
Like a shaft of light, a new illuminating, and X marks the spot.
Yeah, exactly. I love that meeting too. That's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. Time to go for it now. If you are hesitating, stop. Do it. Just do it.
I mean, if you're in a sleigh and it's not winter, that's one thing, but
Well, going for it might be having to try and find a way to get that sleigh across the rocks.
yeah,
Get creative,
yeah,
right? There's clearly Mars coming up to this conjunction with Pluto is going to add some energy to
good.
this entrance into Aquarius.
Yeah.
What happens when we get a little fire and some air?
We get
We're
a dragon in the sky.
gonna drag it in the sky. So I don't know. I think this symbolism is pretty powerful and cool. I'm gonna I'm gonna be checking out what's going on over the
Yeah,
next few days, next week, especially as we wait for Mars to catch up.
yeah. Well, at least for the next month, right? The new moon symbolism is supposed to carry us through the month, but this is the lunar new year. So it should
Exactly.
have an impact for the rest of the year until next February.
Yeah, and even greater
What's
than
your
that,
mission?
exactly, what's your mission? This with 0 degrees of Aquarius at this new moon on the Lunar New Year, I think that's incredibly symbolic. I think this is, yes, more than a few weeks symbolism. This is a symbolism to open us into a new future.
Right, right. I mean, with Neptune bringing us symbolism of the new moon as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. I If you don't have a plan, make one. Now's the time. Set your
Or at
intent,
least a mission.
complete the mission. Get started on your mission, set your intentions,
That's right. Set your
build a
intentions.
little fire, put your intentions in there, get started, walk on that path.
That's right. Good stuff.
I love it. All right. Well, you guys have a wonderful new moon, and we will catch you at the full.
Yeah. See ya.
See ya.